talking to us. I may come back to you in the next few minutes once we see movement again from the United States, as that plane believed to be carrying the Venezuelan leader arrived in New York. We are waiting for him to exit it. Cici, we heard the concern there from Juan Gabriel about what might happen in the region. I imagine the concern for Venezuelans right now is what might happen tomorrow. How will they keep living, and how they put food on the table and so on? What are people most worried about internally? Is it about internal strife, violence in Venezuela, or about their day-to-day lives?
Well, it's a mixture of things. In the press conference, Trump announced that there was a plan for a second strike if necessary. So with Delcy Rodriguez reinforcing that there is only one government, that it's a legitimate government, that is Maduro the president, this might take into reaction from Trump and do execute that second strike. We're unsure about that. Of course, we're still staying alert. In terms of the people in Caracas and what they're doing, they are going to the grocery stores. They're trying to stock up their shelves and their homes and their fridges. So there's been long lineups. They were letting along like 10 people coming into the store to make sure everything was organized so people could buy with peace and not having that huge commotion. So people are trying to stock up their fridges. People are trying to get gas as well. So long lineups to get gas as well.
So people have been preparing for these for shortages before this operation against Maduro?
No, so this has been happening today. So since the strike this morning, people woke up, this has been the movement today. The movement of going to the grocery stores, movement of going to the gasoline stations, and then just waiting to see what happens tonight. Are people going to sleep in peace? We're not sure. Everyone's just on high alert and paying attention to the news, of course.
What about the Venezuelan military in this? What happens if the military or the collectivos, they resist this transition? And is that likely to happen?
Yes, well, with the current government that we've been having in place for the last 20 plus years, there hasn't been a separation of powers. So the legislative, the military, the finances, everything has been run by the government. So people who are in the military, who are not on high general levels or not in high positions, they might not agree fully with the Maduro regime or the government itself, but they're scared to speak out because there's been a lot of violence. I'm going to
interrupt you because it looks like we are now seeing the Venezuelan leader coming down the steps of that military plane in New York. He is in blue on the left-hand side of the steps. He's being helped down the steps by a U.S. officer. We cannot see whether he's blindfolded, whether he has something covering his eyes, but it looks like that is indeed Nicolas Maduro, who's come out of this military plane in New York City, down the steps. Lots of law enforcement officers, including the FBI there, surrounding him. I've only seen what looks like to be the silhouette of Nicolas Maduro. He's supposed to be on this plane with his wife, Celia Flores. No sign of her in these images, which I have to apologize, are not very clear because, as you can see, it's nighttime there. But it seems to be him in that blue jacket in the middle, in the center of your screen, being led by U.S. law enforcement officers to, I don't know if it's a car that's waiting for him on the other side, but that appears to be Nicolas Maduro, the captured Venezuelan leader, in a blue jacket, walking slowly. I'm not sure if he's restrained, whether he's wearing restraints on his feet, whether there's something covering his head. Perhaps you guys in the gallery can see better than me these images and tell me what exactly is happening, what Nicolas Maduro, okay, his head is covered, it looks like. Okay, excellent. What about his hands?
Randy, I'm moving north a little bit.
Okay, we can't tell what's happening with his hand, but he's clearly being led by law enforcement officers. Yeah, that's a slightly better picture now, an extraordinary picture of Nicolas Maduro surrounded by dozens of U.S. law enforcement officers setting foot on U.S. soil after being captured by U.S. forces in Caracas.
See you later, Randy. Safe flight, buddy.
Extraordinary images. Kimberly Halkett, are you with us?
I am, yes.
Okay. Were you able to see what we just saw there, Nicolas Maduro finally setting foot on U.S. soil?
Yeah, the pictures were challenging for me to see as well. It was great you had a description because it was a little bit dark, but we expect that there are going to be close-up images that will not only be released by the media, but likely from the White House himself. We earlier saw the U.S. president on his Truth Social platform releasing the picture of Nicolas Maduro before he arrived in the United States, blindfolded, handcuffed. We expect that this will be similar. But again, it's important to note what happens next. We've been talking about that, and I've been trying to get a little bit more detail. It's important to note that these charges are all drug-related charges that the United States is arresting Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, as well on, that they are with regard to the transportation of cocaine into the United States. And we should point out that these were charges that were posted publicly, just like these pictures have been made very public, highly unusual, by the Attorney General herself, Pam Bondi. Now, the other thing to note in all of this is that the United States has been after Nicolas Maduro specifically for quite some time. These charges were first leveled against him in absentia, really, back in 2020. And only now are we going to be seeing the proceedings, the legal proceedings playing out stemming from these charges. The district or venue where we understand the at least charges will take place is going to be in the Southern District of New York. But it's very possible that we could see lawyers defending these two defendants, arguing that there should be a change of venue, that this shouldn't take place in New York. It's all a big question mark, Fale, about what's going to happen next, given how highly unusual this is. The fact that the United States had this middle of the night airstrikes around Caracas, that there was this rapid apprehension of Nicolas Maduro as well as his wife. And now we're seeing these remarkable pictures of them coming, or at least of Nicolas Maduro, the leader of Venezuela, former leader now, taking the steps down the plane onto the tarmac in New York
surrounded by
State.
dozens of officers there. We didn't see his wife, Celia Flores, who we thought was on that plane with him. But clearly, looking at these pictures, it is clear that the Trump administration wants to send a message, Kimberly.